So Joanna,
Yes.
here, come over.
Yes.
So like, you know, like he's gonna be sitting right here, right?
Yeah.
So you're never gonna look around. You can either focus on his face.
Yeah, you're not gonna look at the camera.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna act like it's not even there.
Okay, cool.
You can like pick a post over there beyond them or something like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna be adjusting the camera during the interview. Don't let that throw you guys off. Just like to get different shots. Starting from the left, go ahead and introduce yourself, your first and your last name. Spell it out for me so I don't mess it up. And then you'll do the same to the right. Go ahead and get started. And then tell me what group you're with as well.
Jack Miller, Jackmiller. I'm the Vice President of the National Association for Individual Rights, also known as NAIR.
And you also work in coordination with CJ Grisham, who's also with OCT. Is that correct?
OCT, Open Carry Texas.
Great.
I'm Todd Ferguson. I'm an executive board member for National Association for Individual Rights, and I'm also associated with OCT.
And you guys are based out of?
San
Antonio,
Antonio.
Both San Antonio, Texas. Okay, fantastic. Tomorrow, what's happening? Why is it happening? What's going on? Run us through the gamut.
Who are you asking?
Either one, whichever one wants to jump in. Yeah.
Tomorrow there's a open carry and First Amendment rally operated by OCT and supported by many other organizations such as us. And we're going to go out there and peacefully demonstrate our First and Second Amendment rights in response to what we feel are recent attacks on those rights by the Olmos Police Department.
Why do you feel as though that those are attacks?
So far, we've been out there many times over the past couple of months, and each time we've gone out there, we've been engaged in legal activity, First Amendment and Second Amendment protected activity, and each time it has resulted in police officers showing up when there's no law being broken and placing us at gunpoint, ordering us on the ground, arresting us, and most recently, tasering and assaulting us. We had a person filming our interaction, a female by the name of Joanna Castro, and she was assaulted. She wasn't detained, she wasn't identified, she wasn't charged with anything at the time. She was just hit with an AR-15 pointed at her with orders to put the camera down. And so those would be attacks on people's rights.
And Todd, are you here off of a similar grain? It looks like there's a lot of civil rights groups that are here and a lot of people that have the same goal in mind, whether it's your organization, whether it's OCT. Why is it important for people to band together?
Well, it's important for the people to band together because, it's the people's responsibility to hold our government accountable and seek redress when the government isn't doing what they're supposed to do or they're violating people's constitutional rights. So, for people to come together in an event like this is unprecedented.
Speaking about Todd, what happened to her specifically, Joanna, what was your thoughts when you saw what happened?
Well, I feared for her life. I was watching a live stream from about 2 blocks away, and me and my son were watching a live stream. She was just there to document what he was doing, basically a camera person like yourself, and she was violently attacked by Officer Alfred Salinas, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
And all of that was documented from many different camera angles.
Jack, how do you feel that it was you that she was recording when this all went down?
I witnessed it all go down with her. I was on my knees at the time, with my hands up in the air, listening to an officer tell me that if I moved, he was going to shoot me. And I saw this officer approach Joanna, pointing his AR-15 at her, yelling at her. At the time, I didn't know what he was saying to her, but she was a good 30 feet away from me. And he hit her, he shoved her so hard, it knocked her back several steps. I thought she was going to fall. Seeing that gun pointed at her, knowing that she wasn't armed and that she was only filming, I was scared for her life. I thought that was the end of her.
How do you guys feel about the claim that she was just recording? That's all she was doing, that she was documenting.
She was exercising her First Amendment right.
And that's exactly as that's been. Recording has been her role from the beginning. She supports us in the sense that she records these interactions. She stays away from the interaction and she documents the interaction. And that's been her role all along, and it was her role that night.
What should people be expecting in Almost Park tomorrow?
Peaceful demonstrations of the First and Second Amendment. A bunch of people, like-minded people out there, just letting Almost Park Police know that we do have rights, and they have to operate within the law when dealing with citizens who are exercising their rights, whether they agree with those rights or not.
How would you characterize what that police presence has been like when you guys have been out there, in terms of the way that they've been policing the area?
In response to the activity that we've been engaging in, the First and Second Amendment, it's been dangerous, scary, horrible.
What kind of fears do you guys have for tomorrow?
We fear based on already how Almost Park Police has responded to us. We fear that they're going to continue down that same route. And anytime you have a police department that's operating outside of the law, it's an extremely volatile and dangerous situation for the citizen. That would be our biggest fear. We hope that that's not the case. We hope now that hopefully tomorrow they're going to operate within the law.
What do you say to some people that say, and we've heard these comments around, I'm sure you guys have too. What do you say to people that say, you guys got what you wanted. It's been repealed. It's legal to do what you guys want to do. Why hold a rally tomorrow? Why cause, I guess, maybe the amount of traffic? Why cause a demonstration? Why have extra policing be brought in if they are being brought in? Why?
None of us have been charged with violating the city ordinance. So the repeal is just it's just a show.
Okay.
It's just a show because none of the charges that Joanna was arrested for, I was arrested for, Jack was arrested for, none of them had to do with the city ordinance.
What were you guys arrested for? And was that during the same time that all went down?
Within a 3-week period, we've all been arrested.
Within a 3-week period, there's been several arrests, and there hasn't been one gun-related charge. They come out and say one thing, such as one time they told me the reason I was being detained was because they didn't know if I was there to burglarize a building. The second time I was detained, they didn't know if I was going to, quote, shoot up people. This is after completely identifying me as a licensed handgun holder, knowing that I have no criminal record. They know everything about me, yet they say they don't know if I'm there to shoot up the building or burglarize a building. And then, 30 minutes later, they're charging me with false charges. Why do we need to go out there tomorrow? They've repealed the ordinance, and that's a step in the right direction. They should have repealed it a long time ago, but hey, they did it. So that's a step in the right direction, but they still currently have everybody under charges, false charges, and they're still posed to prosecute us for that. And again, we've never violated a law. So.
And again, I told you about Balcony Heights, and I told you now they're looking into repealing that ordinance as well. In terms of your organization, in terms of OCT, what's, I guess, the route that you guys take to make sure that you feel these cities are mirroring what Texas state law is with open carry?
Say that question again.
Well, I feel that they've been, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I feel that they've been proactive. Alamo Heights, Hollywood Park, and now Balcony Heights. I feel that they've been proactive, and after seeing the national spotlight shined on Almost Park, that they've taken a look at their ordinance and been proactive in repealing it. And that's a really good step for that city, for those cities.
And Todd, how many people were expecting for tomorrow?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000 people tomorrow?
Yes.
And you could attribute that to a lot, I've talked to you off camera, but a lot of what you guys do to make sure that people know about the issues are social media.
Absolutely.
So this message, and talk about how that's been instrumental in making sure people know about this.
Well, a big part of holding the government and our police accountable is not always through a lawsuit. It's through mass exposure, through social media, and with citizens using their First Amendment right to seek redress by making phone calls has produced change in cities and repealing laws and police departments changing their policies. So what we do is very instrumental in getting laws and policies changed through social media.
Is there anything last you guys want to say about tomorrow? Did you want to add something in there?
You know, with the social media, we've heard Almost Park Police several times say in this day and age, with just what happened a day ago or whatever, in this day and age, this is why we're doing what we're doing to you. Well, in this day and age, it only takes a keystroke on social media to show the world what you're doing, and social media has just played a big part in getting this behavior out there to the masses, so they can be the judge.
So and that's why people from all around the country are joining Almost Park tomorrow.
Yes, people as far as we have people flying in from all over the United States. Just heard somebody from Hawaii is flying in. So yeah, social media played a big part in that.
So anything last you guys want to add in before I conclude this joint interview?
Carrying in all the other cities, let's talk about how Hollywood Park and Alamo Heights repealed their ordinances, and how we've open carried in there. In fact, in Hollywood Park, I think most of the people you see out here, including Open Carry Texas, open carried in that city. I personally have open carried in every jurisdiction within 50 miles of San Antonio without a problem, and they respect the laws. For the most part, there are some officers that are a little unsure about the law, but they quickly learn the law on the spot. Specifically, Hollywood Park, myself, and Open Carry Texas, as well as some other people, open carried in the same manner we open carried in Balcones Heights. They came out, exercised due diligence, they checked us out, and we expect them to do that. That's what we pay our police for. But there was no issues. They determined we were not breaking the law, and they departed. Same thing with Alamo Heights. So it doesn't surprise me that Hollywood Park and Alamo Heights are taking a proactive approach to preventing this type of situation from happening.
And maybe Balcony Heights next week.
Perhaps.
And was that somewhere that you guys have thought about doing a demonstration as well, if they do? Or it's really, I think tomorrow, and from what I've heard from you guys, tomorrow is not about just demonstrating. It's more about civil rights, and it's more about how you guys feel like the police department wrongfully charged individuals.
Look, we don't go out and actively seek to have issues with jurisdictions. This thing with Almost Park, we happenstance. We accidentally came across this. What brought us out there was Chief Valenciano several months ago told the news in response to cite and release that his department was about following the letter of the law, and that if people broke the law, they needed to go to jail. So we figured, you know what, this is a perfect opportunity to go out and show a department who is about the law, and let's shed a good light on them and show them out there enforcing the law fairly, like they said. Unfortunately and sadly, we found out that wasn't the case. Not all laws.
Is there anything last you guys want to add in before I want to have you guys go over and show me some of the gear that you're bringing tomorrow? But before we get out, is that okay?
Sure.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You can leave that microphone on. You can clip it to your waistband if that's okay, just so we catch the mic or catch the sound. Okay. And pretty much expect what people. I just wanted to give the audience an idea of what people could be seeing tomorrow in Almost Park.
Okay, what we have here are just a few of the items, and I say items because I'm going to explain a couple things here. We have an AR-15 here. We have a 9mm pistol here. All of these guns have been cleared, and none of them are loaded. We also have a Glock pistol here. We have a replica here, which is identical to the real gun, but as you can see, it's not real at all. It's just a big piece of rubber. And the reason why we carry these is because we don't want our real guns confiscated. We have another AR-15 here. This gun also is a fake gun, although it looks real. It's just an airsoft gun.
Why carry around a fake gun? Why carry around an airsoft gun?
Well, like Jack explained earlier, sometimes when we do these Second Amendment audits, when we come within contact with tyrannical police, they like to confiscate our real guns, and we won't get them back for sometimes for months or sometimes even up to a year till after the court case is settled. So sometimes when we do these open carry audits, we carry fake guns, and if they get confiscated, it doesn't affect us too much. So we have a couple shotguns and rifles here also. So I mean, this is just some of the things that you can expect to see out at Almost Park tomorrow.
I have something to say. I don't want part of responsible gun ownership is keeping guns out of the wrong hands. And my guns don't belong in any hands but me, so I'll carry a fake gun sometimes. Because police like Almost Park that act outside the law end up taking my gun in their hands, and it doesn't belong in their hands. So I'd rather have a fake gun in a person's hands that's going to operate outside the law like they are.
And Todd, show me again a couple of the fake guns you guys carry, just give people an idea and why you do, because I think that's a pretty interesting
So
one.
this one here, as you can see, is a real gun and it has real bullets. There's nothing in the chamber. This one is identical looking to this one, but it's fake. It's a replica. It's a training gun, and it looks identical to this gun here. This one here is an airsoft gun. It's not real either.
Okay. All right.
We saw the officer. I mean, he pushed me. There was no reason for it. He came at me with his rifle. He could have shot me. He injured me. He came at me with full force. He knocked the cameras out of my hand. He pretty much hit the side of me. He pretty much injured me. He bruised me. It was scary. It was really scary.
What do you want Almost Park PD to do about this?
She can't answer that question.
No?
No.
Talking about the Constitution and the First Amendment specifically, and you guys say that you're about civil rights. Is it troubling to you that something like this could occur and then you face charges?
Well, we have faced charges, for not doing anything wrong. We're just out there exercising our rights and we get this in return. I don't see why there's an issue with this. I mean, I don't know.
What do you want to come tomorrow? What do you want? I mean, is there a specific message that you want to send?
We're just out there to see, what they're gonna do. How are they gonna treat us? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna arrest all of us? Are they gonna assault all of us? What's gonna happen? I don't know. We have to wait and see.
And just watching that video, you could tell you were.
Oh my God, yes, it's hard to watch, because like I said, anything could have happened that night. He could have tripped, a car could have backfired, and he could have just shot me.
Can you just run it through one more time? I want to make sure I get all the video. I was kind of messing around with my tripod last time, so.
Here you come. There's another one behind you. Oh man, here you go.
Reach that weapon, you will be shot. I will consider that as a threat. Get on the ground now! Get on the ground now! You get back! Stop back! Put the camera on, get back! Get back! I'm not gonna tell you. Hey, get back, man! Get out of the way!
Don't
get off the gun!
Don't touch me!
We are dealing with a man with a gun. We are dealing with a person with a gun over here. Step back! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground now! You get back! Stop back! Put the camera on! Get back! Get back! I'm not gonna tell you. Get back, man! Get out of the way! Get off the gun right now!
Don't touch me!
We are dealing with a man with a gun. Move out of the way! Get
Why
back!
are you touching me?
We are dealing
Why
with a
are
person
you
with a gun.
touching me?
Get back!
Asshole!
Get out of the person with a gun. Get the camera on!
So he attacked her twice.
It wasn't a loop, it was two separate times.
She had a camera in one hand and her phone in the other. She was live streaming on Facebook. First time he came at her, he knocked the phone out of her hand. And when he came at her second time, he knocked the camera out.
It's two different things.
That's why I played twice.
I see.
Two different.
So that was February 20th.
Yes.
Okay.
This is how we do it!